All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Candidates, in case you weren't in here, I will give you each a chance to have a minute to do an opening statement, even though I forgot with the last one. I will then ask you 4 questions that are exactly the same, and we'll give you all an opportunity to answer those. After those 4 questions, I will give you each a unique question, and then at the end, I will give you 90 seconds. I'll give you 90 seconds to follow up with closing remarks, okay? So, for the first 1-minute opening statement, why don't we start with you, Rebecca, and make sure that microphone's on and make sure you hold it real close.
I think I turned it on.
Good, thank you.
Good evening, Rebecca Berner. I'm running for Ward 2. Just background, I've been in Thornton for about 14 years, over a period of time. I had a chance to live here for a long time and then came back. And I came back because it's a place I want to be. And I just recently bought a house because I want to live here the rest of my life. So it's really about how do we govern ourselves forward in a way that's really positive, in a way that lets people talk. And I see some of the fighting and some of the things that go on in the tug of war. I think there's enough going on already that we don't need a tug of war. We need to work together. We need to find solutions that really work for everybody. And I want to be practical about what those solutions are. So we'll talk more about that, I'm sure, as I get to questions. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Good evening, everyone. John Halge, running for Thornton City Council Ward 2. I'm a 70 resident of Cherry Lane. So I'm running for this seat to be a compassionate listener, to expand my community involvement, and to partner with my neighbors to make our community an even better place to live than we already are. I'm not running for a title, I'm not running for money, I'm running to serve. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric?
My name is Eric Montoya, candidate for Ward 2. I want to thank the Chamber, Courtney, and Heidi for hosting this event this evening. And thank you all for coming out and spending your evening with us. So I've been in the death care industry for 20 years now, and I've seen how precious life is and how every day you need to take advantage of it. So that's why I'm running. I'm running because I want to leave a legacy behind for my family, for my son, my grandkids. I want to leave a legacy behind that is functional government, that provides the services for the community that we desperately need, and stop the dysfunction and the polarization we see happening at pretty much every level of government. It's mostly at the top, but it's trickling down, and we can stop it here at the local level.
Thank you. Eric, I'm going to start with you, actually, for the first question. I'm going to move it around so everybody has an opportunity to answer first at least once. So, Eric, what role do you see the city playing in supporting multifamily and mixed-use development?
Great question. So, I was on the Housing Authority, which is now known as Mayor Housing, and for 10 years. And so I understand the need for different types of housing for our community. Multifamily is a big part of it. We have a lot of single-family homes, but we need multifamily and affordable housing, and really we need more housing for seniors that are income-based as well, so that people can age at home and live in this community. So I think the city can do that through, we can do different ways of investing in infrastructure to help make that possible. We have CDBG funds, which is Community Development Block Grant funding, that we can put in towards more affordable housing and more multifamily housing and the blighted areas as well. So the city has a big role financially. We have to also advocate, so the city can do lots of different things, and that's what I plan on doing, continue doing when I get on city council.
Thank you, John. I'll go ahead and ask the question again. What role do you see the city playing in supporting multifamily and mixed-use development?
Great question. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So yes, kind of what Eric said, but also we need more multi-use and multifamily development. And also we need to grow up more than spread out. And that was one of the questions earlier, because especially around our end-line train stations, we need more of those units there, especially 88th Avenue. I like to see that developed, and also up in East Lake as well. I know there's a project that's going on. We don't know what's going on with it, but we need to find out. But yeah, we definitely need more multifamily, multi-use, and I like to see that with Thornton Shopping Center as well.
Thank you. Rebecca, what role do you see the city playing in supporting multifamily and mixed-use development?
Thank you. There's a role for the city to play, and the base document to do that is really the comprehensive plan. And if we look at the comprehensive plan, we zoning is supposed to be. We know where density should be. You don't want the whole city to be density driven. You might want density in some areas and then a little bit spread out in others, so that you get all kinds of different people living here and working here. And so I think that's a role that we play. And I think having mixed use, which is a building with maybe commercial on the first level and housing on the second, is really an important way to take urban areas and bring in business in a different way than I think we've been seeing. So I'm an advocate for us to do that, and it's all part of economic development, giving places for those small businesses that we've talked about to be in a small area and let us grow. So I'm for that.
Thank you. John, I'll ask you the next question. How can Thornton prepare for the economic and demographic changes of the next 20 years?
Great question. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So once again, Thornton Water Project's coming on board by the end of the decade. So what we need to do is, and with neighbor input, to develop projects that will help the city in general. And I really do believe with neighbor input, we can definitely move forward and as to where we want this growth also.
Thank you. Rebecca, I'll ask you that question again. How can Thornton prepare for the economic and demographic changes of the next 20 years?
Economic and development changes in the next 20 years.
Economic and demographic changes. Yeah.
Okay. We can see them happening already. Just the change in. Sorry about that. The change in the economic condition as we're facing from where we were 5 years ago to where we are today, it's already happening. And our job is to pay attention to that and find mechanisms to help us bring in revenue to this community and business and people to this community to help that revenue regenerate and come back so we can do more. And when you hear what people want, we want to make sure we have the revenue coming that matches what we want to put out to do in the community.
Thanks. Eric, how can Thornton prepare for the economic and demographic changes of the next 20 years?
Well, I think we need to have a big investment in economic development. We really need to see that the businesses in Thornton, whether they're small or big businesses, family-owned businesses, that they're supported by the city. Because the biggest revenue source for the city is sales tax. So we have to make sure that we have a strong economic development, attract businesses here, creates jobs here for people, and it's going to change the shift of the economic situation in this city, but also we're going to see demographic changes because Thornton is a growing area. We have a commuter rail going through our city, we've got water rights coming through here, so this is a place where developers want to go. So we need to make sure that we are ready for that, and I've done that in the past when I was on city council, and I'll continue doing that going forward.
Thank you. Okay, Rebecca, you get to take this one first. All right, so how can the city support arts, cultural, and community events?
Well, I think the city is starting to do that. I do think if you look at other communities like Aurora, I sat on their arts district down on Colfax, we could do the same kind of thing here. And art to them is not just painting or drawing or photography, but also restaurateurs who actually create food, and it's wonderful. And so I think we can bring some of that here. I think there's some areas in Ward 2 that would work perfectly well. So that would be my answer to that. Thank you.
Thank you. John? How can the city support arts, culture, and community events?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I am a past member of TASCO, the Thornton Arts, Sciences, and Humanities Council, for 2 years. So I'm a definite proponent, a big proponent of the arts. I would like to see more public art projects in the city of Thornton. I'd like to see more mural art projects, more sculptures. But again, we do need neighborhood involvement and input because we did have the sculpture, which of course now is not there because when the original location was on 128th, but then because neighbors weren't properly communicated to, there was a lot of pushback. So we definitely need more neighborhood involvement, but also work with TASCO and work with our arts department and our Parks and Recreation department to bring more mural artists from outside as well as from inside the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric, how can the city support arts, culture, and community events?
Well, I think we already do a pretty good job of that, and it's thanks to the work like John did with TASCO. TASCO is a great organization that's made a lot of great recommendations to the city council. we've implemented a lot of that stuff. So I think what we need to continue doing is just what we're doing now, and that's continue to keep that investment and try not to let it get reduced. And when you see it, budgets being strained all the time and budgets being reduced, we got to make sure we continue to invest in that, because Thornton has shown and has told us that that's an important priority to them.
Thank you. All right, this is your last common question. Everybody's answered first, right? Okay, making sure. Sure, Eric. What policies would you support to ensure school safety in collaboration with the districts?
Well, Thornton has, I guess it's 4 school districts within our city limits, so it's going to be collaboration, a big collaboration effort with all the school districts. But public safety starts with, with us as a community. We need to make sure that we are not looking at each other as enemies, and we're looking at each other as neighbors. We may disagree on things, but we gotta start looking at it differently and stop looking at each other like that. Because that's when you dehumanize somebody, it's easier to be violent with them. So we gotta stop that right there. And then also school resource officers. I know those have been on the chopping block before, but I'm pro school SROs. I want school resource officers in our schools to work with our students and show them that police are here to support our community and build that relationship so that they're not afraid of the police, and the police show their face and make that community connection with them. So it starts with school resource, it starts with us. There's lots of things we can do, and we're only going to do it if we all do it together.
Thank you. John, what policies would you support to ensure school safety in collaboration with the school districts?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Once again, like Eric said, we have 4 school districts in the city of Thornton. We have 3 of them in Ward 2. So we work with those school boards to communicate with them about what concerns they have and try to help partner with them as a city. And also speed remediation near schools also. More speed bumps. Folks have been wanting more speed bumps and want to have conversations on doors. And also SROs. We definitely need to have them in there as positive mentors for our children. So that is what we should continue to do. Thank you.
Thanks. And Rebecca, what policies would you support to ensure school safety in collaboration with the school districts?
Yeah, I think the first point is to meet with school boards, counsel to the school board, and understand their issues. I think sometimes we always think jump in first, but I think meeting and understanding theirs and our issues, in our limitations and their limitations, and where we can work together so that we're sharing the load of that work. Second is making sure staff is involved with, if they're trying to do a Safe Routes to School project, are we involved in that, and does that match with what the city's trying to do in our neighborhoods to make sure that safety is there as kids are crossing the street. So I think those are my first 2. I've been involved in those kind of processes, and once you have that understanding and once you're working together, automatically priorities begin to fall out, and we begin to develop a better relationship and working together. And then we can solve almost anything that's happening.
Thank you. All right, so this is that opportunity that you have to each answer a question of your own. And so I'll go ahead and start with Rebecca. What incentives or policies would you propose to attract new employers to the city?
I've been involved in this in the development of major projects like Costco and Walmart and that, and I've used many different funding mechanisms to make that happen. And I think there's opportunities where we can work hand in hand with those particular developers that are really important to us, the ones that bring us revenue, the ones that make the citizens happy. We want to look at opportunity for incentives, and that can be anything from building some of the infrastructure to helping them with different funding opportunities, delaying maybe some of the sales tax over time so that it then begins to shoot up. So I think I'm interested in all of that to make sure that we get the right development here for us, the right businesses here for us, and what's important to the community to make that happen so we can all shop here. Thank you.
Thank you. John, what steps would you take to ensure Thornton remains financially stable as it grows?
Great. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for the question. Yes, I would work with city staff because we do have a budget and we do need to keep within the constraints of budget. There are projects I would love to see here in Thornton, but nonetheless, we do need to have the communication with city staff, fellow council members, and also community members to ensure what we are doing is good for the city and that we are good stewards of money.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Eric, how should Thornton collaborate with Adams County on shared priorities?
Well, I think we already do that pretty well. As you know, when we were mayor, I was mayor pro tem, we had dinners with Adams County government, or the commissioners, I should say, and quite a bit. And so there's a way that we can work with them. The county commissioners all have pretty strong personalities, but that's where I specialize. I specialize in working with those kinds of people and making sure that we can all talk to each other. And so there's a way that we can do that with infrastructure, with housing, with traffic concerns. It's got to be more of a regional thing, and so Adams County can kind of take the lead on that. Because the north, if you look at the south end of the city, the metro area, they're very well organized. And that's why they don't have HOV lanes. That's why they've got the nice big highways and the infrastructure that they need, because they're organized. Up north, we're not so much as organized. We're getting there with NADA and other organizations. We're getting there, but we need more organization so we can all collaborate, work together. And that powerful voice will help get funding, because Dr. Cog is the one that issues the funding for all the metro area. And they issue it based on who's got the loudest voice, basically.
Thank you. Okay, this is the time where you'll each get 1 minute for closing remarks. John, I'd like to start with you, then we'll go to Eric and then Rebecca.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor, for moderating today. Thank Thornton Area Chamber of Commerce for holding this candidate forum. It's very important that we communicate to our residents what our values are and what we want to do for you as council members. So I'm about 3 things at the end of the day: availability, accessibility, and accountability. That's what I will do on council if I am elected. I'm John Algie, running for Thornton City Council Ward 2. I'm John Algie for Thornton.com. I'm on Facebook, John Algie for Thornton City Council Ward 2. And I hope during your vote, when ballots start dropping next week, and vote by November 4th. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks. We'll go to Eric next.
All right, thank you all again for being here. Again, my name is Eric Montoya, Ward 2. I'm running again because we have so many serious issues we got to face here in the city, and the only way we're going to do that is if we do it together. But it's going to take all of us. So when I have been on city council in the past, when I've accomplished big things, it was with collaboration. So I want to continue that success, but you need to vote me in so that we can continue doing what we've done in the past and bringing this council together. A lot of dysfunction sometimes. Maybe not so much this council as years past, and no hard feelings or anything, but we just really need to be working together. And so this is your opportunity to have your voice heard. This election is your opportunity. So take it serious, because democracy is fragile, as we see. It's under threat right now. So democracy is not a spectator sport. Get involved. Tag, you're in.
Thank you. Rebecca.
Rebecca Burton from Ward 2. I'm really excited to be here. It's a pleasure to get up in front and talk to people. Most of the time as an engineer, I hate to do that, just so you know. We're really not a fan of that, but it's so important to me to talk to you all and be around you and hear what you have to say, that I want to stand up here on the stage and make that happen for you. And I'm all about building a better city through economic development, through working on homelessness. And what do? How do we do that? It's not an issue that we can talk about in a minute. That's an issue that takes weeks and months and years to resolve and bring us forward. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for our Ward 2 candidates. Thank you all.